another fun-filled evening of high school football here at rain-soaked Joe Knowles Field on the campus of South Kitsap High School. I'm Darren Bowden, and joining me tonight in the booth is again my faithful assistant who will be doing the color broadcast tonight, Mr. David Rodriguez. And D-Rod, thanks for joining us in the booth tonight.
Thanks for having me here, Darren. Glad to be here and proud to be part of the SKTV Channel 205 broadcast of this big-time matchup between two Narrows League foes. A recent rivalry has developed between the Gig Harbor Tides and the South Kitsap Wolves. Looking for a good game tonight here in the rain and the mud. Should be fun. That's what these guys have been practicing for all week. Both teams undefeated in league. Look to see a possible offense versus defense showdown here tonight, Darren.
Tonight's game is an important one for both sides. The South Kitsap Wolves and the Gig Harbor Tides are both undefeated in division play in the Narrows League. Both stand atop the Bridge Division at 3-0, and the winner will go on next week to take on the number 1 seed of the Bay Division. So tonight is for the number 1 seeding, who will go on for the crossover game next week. Most likely the winner of this game tonight will play the Olympia Bears, who will be the number 1 seed from the Bay Division, and the loser of tonight's game will go on to be the number 2 seed of the Bridge Division in the Narrows League, and will most likely have a game being played against the Central Kitsap Cougars. But tonight is an important game, and the Wolves have home field advantage, although after today's earlier rainstorm that hit this field, it's quite a soaker out there on that field, D-Rod.
Well, we've got a bit of a quagmire happening out there. You can see where the seniors are lined up in a long line behind the team captains there at center field, exchanging pleasantries with the other team in the coin flip to see who's going to get the kickoff. You can really see that we have had a windstorm through here last night and plenty of rain dousing this area. This field not spared, and we are going to see some slipping and sliding here tonight.
South Kitsap comes into the game tonight with an overall record of 5-2, and the Gig Harbor Tides come in with an overall 6-1 record. So both teams are playing some pretty good football right now, as the Gig Harbor Tides have won 6 straight football games, losing their very first game of the season to the Lakes Lancers out of South Tacoma, and have rattled off 6 straight victories. The South Kitsap Wolves have won 4 straight games, and it'll be a defensive battle for the Gig Harbor Tides, as the Tides come in allowing only 7, just under 8 points a game on defense, but the South Kitsap Wolves have turned it up a notch on offense, averaging over just about 36 points a game. So we have a high-powered offense versus a very high-powered defense.
And that's just the matchup. The matchup I was speaking about earlier is you hear the crowd roaring for their home teams, as we do have some good fan turnout here, even in the rain here in late October. The offense of the South Kitsap Wolves being paired up, matched up against the defense of the Gig Harbor Tides. It should be a really interesting one. The Wolves really keep it on the ground, and the Tides, we're going to see what they're made of here on this muddy field tonight. We'll see if the Wolves can keep their footing and keep their mistakes to a minimum tonight, as they are facing a very poised and a very well-coached Gig Harbor Tides team.
Both teams will be looking to control the ball, and one of the keys to this game today, D-Rod, is the fact that the team with the fewest amount of turnovers has an excellent chance of winning this contest, as usually decided in most games, as the South Kitsap Wolves break the huddle from the sideline. They have won the toss and will receive as they send back special teams kickoff return specialist, number 34, Ryan Williams, and number 9, Brandon Mayfield, as the Gig Harbor Tides will be kicking off from their own 40-yard line, and the kick is up. It's going to be a short one. It's going in the direction of Ryan Williams. He takes it off one little hop, goes off of Williams, out of bounds, and the Wolves are going to have the ball at their own 25-yard line. So no return on the kickoff, but we will see just what it is like. And I'm telling you, there's an awful lot of mud down on that field.
Well, we are really going to see how sticky those cleats are tonight, because there is a ton of rain and a ton of water sitting on that field, standing water. A big challenge for both teams. I'd say that the biggest challenge for both sides is going to be on offense, as backs try to keep their footing, and we're going to see how well these teams play. I'm going to imagine the South Kitsap Wolves are going to keep it on the ground here early, and with their backs at the end zone and starting at the 25-yard line, as Ryan Williams bobbles the ball out of bounds on the kickoff. That's where the Wolves will set up shop, and working from our left to right.
In at tailback for the Wolves is number 41, Stephen Tucker, who has had one heck of a season so far, averaging just over 100 yards a contest. His biggest outing was against the Foss Falcons as he carried the ball 19 times for 188 yards and had 5 touchdowns. So they're looking for big production here out of Tucker. Josh Burlingame is in at fullback for the Wolves. The quarterback all season long, Chad Tester, number 7, they're going to fake the handoff. They do hand the ball straight up the middle to Josh Burlingame, maybe for a couple. We're going to call it a gain of 3. It's going to be 2nd down and 7 for the Wolves. In at wide receiver for the Wolves is Devlin Miller and number 5, Sean Staten.
The Wolves happy to get just a few yards at a time here to get themselves out of a hole, a little bit of a hole here at the beginning. 25-yard line, not the best starting field position in the world as Stephen Tucker or as Burlingame barrels up for 3 or 4 yards. We got 2nd and 7.
No substitutions for the Wolves yet. Tester under center. He's going to hang onto that ball, fake the handoff. No, he does give the handoff straight up the middle, but to Tucker, there's nothing doing right there. Is that strong defense up on the front line there for the Gig Harbor Tides, and it's going to be 3rd and long for the Wolves. And just like the Tides have been showing all year, they don't give much yardage up to their opponents.
Well, it's Tides exhibiting a stingy defense here at the beginning, just like you mentioned, DB, all season long. And the Wolves seeing some right there as we go off tackle left, and nothing doing for Stephen Tucker. 2nd and 10 or 3rd and 10 here for the Wolves. We'll see what they pull out, if they're going to go with a pass or not.
Tester drops straight back. He's got a man over open on his left, and the pass was intended for the sophomore, number 81, Leon Ladeau. It was just a little bit high, and the pass is incomplete. And just like that, the Wolves are down and out, and on 4th down, they will have to kick the ball away. So a good job by the Tides defense stopping the Wolves on their first offensive possession.
Nice defense there from Camille Javon, who jumped up and over Leon there for the pass deflection, knocked it out of bounds with 2 hands. It's a good defense there from number 23 for the Tides from the defensive back position.
Back to receive the kick for the Tides is number 3, Chet Thompson. The kick is up. It's a little squibbler. It looked like it went off the side of the foot of the kicker, and it did not go very far, and the ball is going to be down at the South Kitsap 30-yard line. So just like that, not a very good punt right off the bat, and the Tides are going to have excellent field position in Wolf territory.
Well, we were talking in the pregame about the South Kitsap offense versus the Gig Harbor defense. We're going to see the other side of that matchup now as the Wolves dig in here for a stand against the Tides right off the bat here. We're only a minute and a half into the game, and the Tides have excellent field position. The Wolves defense is going to have their hands full here. We'll see what the Tides throw at them.
The quarterback for the Tides is number 3, Chet Thompson. As they come out with a single back set, they send a man in motion to the left. They're going to, it looks like a busted play. Thompson handed the ball out, and there was nobody there, and they got nowhere on defense, and the Tides are stopped. It's going to be a gain of none, and as the rain is now starting to fall again here at Joe Knowles Field, and this could be a deciding factor in tonight's game with the weather.
Absolutely. This is not just your regular type of weather system blowing through here the last couple of days. We've got wind and rain, and the wind is blowing that rain sideways onto the field at this point from our right to left. Looked like the Tides were going for the option there on that play, and nobody home for the quarterback to dish to, and boy, he was stopped for I think a 1-yard loss. It's going to be 2nd and 11.
The lone setback is Jeremy Asgard as they hand the ball straight up the middle, and he bounces off a tackler. Nice hit by Josh Burlingame, and not going anywhere, maybe a gain of a couple on the play. It's going to be 3rd and long for Gig Harbor as the rain is now coming down sideways out on the field, adding to this mud bowl out here.
Well, I guarantee as a defensive player, you love having your chance to tee off on an offense that's looking into some rain. The ball gets slippery, and you're looking for those big turnover, big play type of opportunities, and this is the exact time you can get one of those if you're the South Kitsap defense looking for a fumble here.
The Tides come out with a lone setback. They have 2 men in the back in a pro set as Thompson looks over the defense. It's going to be 3rd and long. They're going to fake the handoff. He keeps it, runs straight up the middle. No, he does hand the ball off. He handed it off to number 44. That was Jeremy Asgard, and he's not going to get very close. He only got a couple more on the play, and it's going to be 4th down for Gig Harbor, but I would imagine this is going to be 4th down territory for the Tides.
Well, if they don't make it, the ball is going to be at the 30-yard line anyway, and so they're going to be I believe they're at about the, let's see, let's look at the field markers here. Hey, can we get some windshield wipers up here in the booth maybe? Because it's coming down right in our faces as well. I believe they're about the 25-yard line. So if they don't get it here, then they're content to give the ball back to the Wolves with their back still to the end zone. 4th down, and we got a timeout, I believe.
We have a stoppage of play out here, and it's an official's timeout. And
they're not going to call the game and roll the tarp out on the field, are they?
They aren't. Split out to the far side is number 7, Spencer McKay. The Wolves are going for it on 4th down, and they're going to pitch the ball to the tailback. He makes a stutter step back up the middle, but I don't believe he got the first down. Good job by the Wolves on defense, and he didn't, and the Wolves are going to take over on downs.
Well, the South Kitsap Wolves really doing a nice job there, not going for any fakes. They went for it, fake right, go left a couple of times there on 3rd and 4th down. The Wolves ready for it, and really making a nice stand there in this mud and muck and rain. The Wolves will be looking down the barrel of 80 yards of mud here, however, and they're going to have to get something going offensively.
So both sides in their first offensive series of possession have gone 3 and out. Weather conditions here pretty tough, but this is what true football is all made about. As they head the ball straight up the middle to the fullback, that's number 35, Matt Mays, and he's tripped up quickly as he had a little bit of running ground in front of him. If he hadn't been tripped up there, got down to about the 26-yard line. It's going to be gain of 4, 2nd down and 6 for the Wolves.
Nice little run there, right up the middle, right up the gut for the Wolves. Nice gain, something they would need. They've done a good job of that on 1st down. The first 2 possessions here. We'll see what they can do on 2nd and 3rd down.
The Wolves send 2 wide receivers split both sides of the field. In that I formation, they send the tight end. That's Foxworthy. He goes to the left side, far side. Tester hands the ball off to the tailback. And he gets Stephen Tucker. He stutter steps, tries to get around the man, stiff arms him till he goes down at the 40-yard line for the Wolves. Nice run by Stephen Tucker.
Beautiful run by Stephen Tucker started going up left, went middle, ended up going right. I think he slipped a couple times there trying to keep his footing. Not the typical speed you see of Stephen Tucker there. If he's not running through this quagmire on the field, he might be off to the races for a touchdown. Nice run, nice blocking, and nice read from Stephen Tucker.
A 31-yard gain by Stephen Tucker all the way down to the Gig Harbor 39-yard line, so the Wolves are
huge.
In business.
That's huge in a game like this. That is huge.
Up against that big defensive line for the Harbor, as Tester is going to hand the ball off to Tucker, and he's hit hard, met in the backfield. Nice hit. Number 75, Matt Bernard.
I'm going to guess that not only did the Tides have that play sniffed out, but looked like Tucker may have been in on a miscue there. It didn't look like he was heading full speed into the ball as Tester handed the ball off to him. Looked like he's going about half speed, and boy, he paid the price for that.
One of the difficulties for tonight's contest, not only hanging on to the ball, but it will be gaining your footing underneath you. And that time looked like it was a little bit. Tucker tried to make a cut and was right there till Renard was there. So. The 40-yard line back to the Gig Harbor 39, and instead of going for it, the Wolves are going to send out their kicking team. So after a big running play by Stephen Tucker, the Wolves go 3 and out, and it'll be 4th down, and we'll just try and put Gig Harbor deep into their own territory.
Tough for offensive players to get their footing here. You saw on that big run from Stephen Tucker, he almost tripped and fell in the middle of the field, and he was wide open, nobody around him. And it's a tough place tonight to get your footing and keep your balance out there as the Wolves look to punt. And it's a little punt, and it's going to bounce. It's going to hit the ground at about the 10-yard line and down by the Wolves at the 9 for a nice 25-yard punt. It looked like there was a fumble possibly there, but how can you see through that mud what's going on with the football?
There is a penalty flag down on the field, and just for a moment it looked like one of the members of the Tides touched that ball near the 10-yard line, but the officials didn't see it that way, but we'll have to see what the penalty is. But a nice kick by David Wells there. The ball gets down to the Gig Harbor 9-yard line. The officials are meeting down around the 23-yard line of Gig Harbor, waiting for the officials' call here.
Is that a low block?
It is a penalty. It's a penalty, a chop block on the Gig Harbor Tide. So that will be half the distance added on to the end of the run or to the end of the kick, and so they're going to scoot the Tides back even farther. It should be placed at about the 4-yard line, about the 5-yard line of Gig Harbor. So Gig Harbor's going to have their work cut out for them deep in their own territory.
Not good position here for the Tides. They're not known for their high-scoring offense this season, as the Wolves are. So they're really got a problem with their backs against the wall of their own end zone. The Wolves' defense, like I said earlier, looking to tee off. 25-yard line is bad enough for the Wolves. On the other side, 5-yard line is worse.
Thompson under center. He's going to hand it to the tailback. He gets a little bit of blocking up the middle, but not very far. Gets back to the 10-yard line. We're going to call it a gain of 5, and it will be second down for Gig Harbor. So Gig Harbor playing it very conservatively, trying to hang on to that football, gaining another 5 on the play. It'll be second 5 for the Tides.
Well, you know, conservative on both sides of the ball, really. Both teams have kept it on the ground. 1 pass so far tonight from the Wolves, none from the Tides. Nice little 5-yard pickup there for the Tides as they try to dig themselves out of this hole as it quickly fills with mud and rain. And they're going to have second and 5 from the 10.
Thompson under center. He's going to hand the ball up to Filmer, the tailback. That's number 28, Jeff Filmer, the 5'10", 178-pound junior running back for Gig Harbor. He may have gotten 2 on the carry. We're going to call it 1. It's going to be 3rd and 4 for Gig Harbor, so a big opportunity for the Wolves to stop the Tides here on 3rd down.
Well, this is a big play here for a lot of reasons. If Gig Harbor makes it, they've successfully dug themselves out of a hole, and they've got some confidence behind them. If they don't make it, they have to punt. I don't think the punting game is going to be quite on point tonight for either team, so that'll be a good sign for the Wolves. We'll see what happens here on 3rd down. I expect the Tides are going to keep it on the ground.
Thompson is going to pitch the ball, a quick little pitch to the tailback, and he's going to be close, but I believe he's going to be stopped short of the 1st down. And
you know what made that play there, DB, for the Tides and got him the 1st down? It was a quick spin and pitch from the quarterback. Quarterback immediately goes into blocking mode and actually creates that crease there for the fullback, and that's where they get the 1st down. That's a nice block from the quarterback.
The Tides needed 4, and they only got 2. Placed the ball at their own 8-yard line, so good job by the Wolves on defense as the Gig Harbor kicking unit will come out, and they will have to punt the ball away, and South Kitsap will most likely get some pretty good field position here.
Wow, if I'm the Gig Harbor coaches, I'm not very happy with that spot, and I think that the officials are having a difficult time seeing the ball tonight. Might have missed a fumble on the punt a few minutes ago from South Kitsap, and they might have missed a 1st down opportunity just now for the Gig Harbor Tides. It looked like he got it.
The kick is up. It's a decent kick. It's going to be fair caught. A fair catch play, and it fumbled on the play, but the Wolves recover it. That was number 3, Jared Moore, the junior for the Wolves.
Boy, it's going to be like that all night, isn't it, DB?
It
Just
is.
Ball flying around and mud slopping all over the place. It's very soupy out there, and the punter, you notice, had a hard time getting a handle on the ball on that punt right there. It's, difficult to get your handle on the ball. It's difficult to get your feet on the ground.
And we're going to bring it all back unless I think they're bringing it all back here. There was a late penalty flag that came in, and they're calling an illegal procedure call against Gig Harbor unless the Wolves are going to reject this penalty, and they will just have the ball at the Gig Harbor 46-yard line. But the ball was placed at the Gig Harbor 8. If they take the penalty, it'll place Gig Harbor at their own 3-yard line, scoot them back 5 more yards, and they're going to do it. They're going to make them kick the ball again, which I think is a pretty good move here because the Tides will now be kicking the ball out of their own end zone, and you could have anything happen. Bad snap, go over the head, fumbled snap, anything of that nature.
With the trouble we're having tonight with guys keeping their hands on the ball, this is probably, this is a good chance for the Wolves to maybe get some points on the board. If it was the CFL in Canada, they would just let it be snapped right through the end zone just to avoid the touchdown possibility.
So the kick is up again. It's going to be an end over end. The Wolves don't even send anybody back, and normally on a nice dry field, the Wolves, that ball would have bounced about another 10, 15 yards, but the Wolves are going to get about an extra 5 yards out of that as the kick stops at the South Kitsap 42-yard line. So the Wolves are going to have excellent field position here for their second offensive series.
And I heard this week that the Wolves actually practiced for this game, got ready for this game by doing some drills down in the South Kitsap pool. down the trail here, and so I think they're ready for the game tonight by doing those types of drills. There's a lot of splish splashing around.
They did, and they're ready for this nice cold, wet weather. As Chad Tester under center again for the Wolves. They're going to try and get something done here on their second possession of offense. They're going to hand the ball. Tester's going to keep it, fakes the handoff straight up the middle, holds the ball tucked away in his hand. He gets a nice gain on the play, crosses the 35. We're going to get back down. They're going to call it the 34-yard line of Gig Harbor. A gain of 6 on the play. It's going to be 2nd 4 for the Wolves.
Nice little play from the Wolves there, a little fake handoff and Tester up the middle. Nice blocking as he gets free, squirts away. Maybe a little bit hard to tackle tonight, too, as those uniforms are pretty wet. Some of those Wolves linemen's pants are not white anymore.
Sean Staten splits to the far side of the field. They're still in the I formation. Stephen Tucker is the tailback. They're going to hand the ball up to Tucker. He tries to cut back, but he's hit hard right at the line of scrimmage. Nice tackle there by Trey Woods. And Trey Woods was right there to make the tackle. Not much on the game. We're going to gain about 1 yard. It's going to be 3rd and 2 for the Wolves, and a big first down play right here for them.
Well, like I said, we've only seen one pass play tonight, and that was from the Wolves, and I'm doubting that we're going to see a trick play pulled out of the book here. I bet we're going to see it stay on the ground and see if the Wolves can get it up 2 yards, get a first down. They're almost knocking on the door here.
Tester under center. Foxworthy goes in motion. Leon Ladeau split to the far side of the field. They're going to hand the ball off to Stephen Tucker. Puts his head down and he gets the first down. Nice job by Stephen Tucker. Gets all the way down to the Gig Harbor 27-yard line.
Nice blocking scheme from the Wolves offensive line, creating a hole off tackle right, where we've got some muddy, wet players out on the field. We're only 10 minutes into the game, and these guys are already soaked to the bone. It's going to be a test of these guys' will to see who's going to stay mentally focused the whole game tonight.
The Wolves doing a nice job sustaining ball control here as time is winding down at the end of the first quarter. They're going to fake the handoff. Tester loses his footing, but does a good job of hanging on to the ball. He's going to lose a couple on the play, and he goes down just outside. They're going to lose 2 on the play. It's going to be down at the Gig Harbor 29-yard line. They were faking the handoff. Looked like he wanted to roll out to his left, but the defender was right there and took him down.
Tester not faking out the Gig Harbor defense on that play. They were ready for him. And like you said, Darren, I think he lost his footing a little bit. Can't fault the young man for that, as the field is awfully difficult to keep your balance on tonight.
So 2nd and long for the Wolves. It's going to be 2nd 12 for the Wolves. 2 wide receivers split. Tucker, and now Ryan Williams is in at tailback. He gets the first handoff, and he's tackled from behind, a one-leg tackle by the defensive back there. Nice job by the Tides on defense. They're going to drop him back an extra yard. It's going to be spotted at the just on the other side of the 30-yard line, and it's going to be 3rd and 13 for the Wolves. So another big play here on 3rd down for South Kitsap.
Well, the Wolves have some speedy receivers, and I think that this might be a time where they might want to look at the pass going up a sideline possibly. It's kind of a long shot in this weather. However, we have mentioned the weather a couple of times. Right now, the wind has died down and the rain has stopped. So if there was a time to possibly try a pass, now would be it. That's the end of the first quarter, as we'll switch sides. First quarter, DB, we've seen mostly defense and not a lot of quality footing or handling here, as the ball is pretty slick and the field is quite muddy.
And it's the kind of game that we expected tonight, as the head coach for Gig Harbor, Mike McKay, and the head coach for the South Kitsap Wolves, DJ Sigurdsson, are battling out on the offensive and defensive end, as we have a 0-0 tie going into the start of the second quarter of play. And South Kitsap and Gig Harbor playing to a very even match here today, as weather conditions not so much hanging onto the ball, but getting footing underneath to be able to make their cuts.
I'd say that's a big one. Stephen Tucker's got a touchdown on that big run across midfield earlier in the first quarter. If he keeps his footing in midfield, like I said, he almost slipped and no one was even around him. That's normally a touchdown for Stephen. And we're looking to see if the Wolves can score going right to left here, as the band is playing some good tunes. We've got the band in the house tonight, as they've got their nice new ponchos on. Got a good crowd on hand. Cheerleaders, senior night for cheerleaders and players here at Joe Knowles Field in Port Orchard. South Kitsap Wolves versus the Gig Harbor Tides. We've got a 0-0 tie. DB, do you look for the Wolves to pass here on 3rd down?
Well, anything could happen here. We could see our first pass play of the game, as the ball is going to be spotted at the 30-yard line of Gig Harbor. So The Wolves have two wide receivers, Staten and Miller, both in. Matt Mays is now in at fullback. Stephen Tucker, the tailback for the Wolves. They're going to send a man. They're going to pitch it to Tucker. He gets the ball. He tries to cut up a little bit, loses a little bit of his footing. He's not going to get very much on the gain. We're going to gain it, give it a gain of about 2 yards, and it's going to be 4th and 10, 4th and 11 for the Wolves, and I would imagine that they're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Well, Stephen Tucker definitely not his normal self tonight. That play as an example, he gets about 2 where normally he gets about 8 or 9. We'll see if Stephen Tucker and Ryan Williams and Josh Burlingame can get their game on tonight and see what they can do on the ground game. This game is kind of what we expected, not necessarily going to be a shootout because of the weather and the field conditions, so we'll keep it on the ground. The first quarter flew by.
Foxworthy goes in motion to the far side of the field. Tester under center. They're going to hand the ball up to Tucker one more time. He puts his head down, tries to get as far as he can. He goes off of right guard. He will be downed at the Gig Harbor 25-yard line. So a gain of about 4 yards on the play, but Gig Harbor will take over on downs. But still, Gig Harbor will be deep in their own territory, and as we can see, D-Rod, that footing is still a problem.
And this is definitely an example of a not a normal game, as we've seen 2 4th down attempts here by each side here in the first 13 minutes of the game. Normally you don't see that. You usually see more conservative style ball punting after 3rd down if you don't get it. And so far we've seen 2 4th down attempts. Neither one successful tonight. This this field says, well, we'd rather just go for it and punt, or instead of punt.
In at tailback for the Tides is number 21, Nico Youngren, as Thompson is going to hand the ball off to Youngren. He is able to stay on his feet. He just puts his head down. He may have gotten a couple. We're going to say a gain of about 4 yards, gets to almost the 30-yard line, and it will be 2nd and 6 for Gig Harbor. So the new running back coming in and doing a good job with his first carry.
And number 31, Dalton Darmody. And for Gig Harbor, number 25, Chase Dentler, having a little battle out there on the field, blocking each other all over the field tonight. It's going to be a battle all night. See if be interested to see who breaks the 0-0 tie first. I'm guessing there's going to be a big play turnover here at some point that one team's going to be able to break open.
Number 24, Sean Allison, comes in for the Wolves on defense as they spread their defense out just a little bit. 2 tailbacks in the backfield. They send a man in motion to the far side of the field. They're going to hand the ball up to Youngren one more time, and he's not getting anywhere. He runs into a pack of Wolves, and the Wolves keep him at the 30-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and long, and a nice defensive stop there again by South Kitsap.
Well, the South Kitsap Wolves doing a good job of gang tackling there and not staying at home, doing a great job of just nose on the ball. Good form tackling and pushing them back in the mud. It's kind of hard to have good form tackling right now, but they're doing a good job of keeping the Tides. Have the Wolves given up a first down yet? Tonight, I don't think they've given up a first down.
They have not yet, as Youngren is still the tailback. They have one man in the slot. Thompson sends a man in motion.
3rd and 5.
They're loading it on the left side. They're going to hand the ball off to Youngren. He's got a little bit of running room out on the right side. He breaks free, and he does get out there, and he is going to have a first down. So Gig Harbor gets their first down of the night. Nice little run-off tackle, sealed the block, and Gig Harbor's going to have a first down at their own 37-yard line. So Gig Harbor is in business.
Positive sign offensively for Gig Harbor. The South Kitsap Wolves defense is their job is to prevent that from happening as much as possible. As DB just mentioned, the first down of the night for the Tides.
So Gig Harbor with 9:20 left here in the first half of play. They're going to hand the quick strike up the middle. They fake it, and he is not getting anywhere. Taken down. Nice tackle on defense. Excellent tackle. That's number 93. That's Foxworthy. Foxy did a nice job staying home, and the defender was right there to take down the tailback.
Number 62, Tyler Dannison, the senior, a little bit banged up there on the play, coming off the field, and looked like the Tides were going for that fake option there, and boy, the Wolves had it snipped out and pushed them way back. I believe it's going to be about 2nd and 12 here on this play.
South Kitsap looking to stop the Tides here from any kind of momentum as they get near midfield. It'll be 2nd and 12 for the Tides. They send a man in motion to the far side of the field. Thompson's going to hand the ball off to Youngren one more time, and he escapes one tackle until Josh Burlingame gets him again, and Burlingame says, let's play my game of a loss of yards on the run.
Well, Josh Burlingame there just sending a message that the Tides aren't going to be able to string it out in the backfield and try to use the width of the field as he quick pursuit there as he exposes the troubled footing of these backs here on this field tonight. Burlingame doing a great job in the South Kitsap Wolves defense, so good job of backing them up.
A loss of a couple of more on the play. The ball will be at the Gig Harbor 34-yard line, and it will be 3rd and long, 3rd and 14 for the Wolves.
First pass play
for the Tides.
First pass play of the night for the Tides, you think, DB, possibly here?
Possibly. They've got 2 men in the backfield, and Thompson's going to roll out to his left, but he's going to keep it, stay on the ground. He's got a little bit of room. Brandon Mayfield was there to run him out of bounds. He got a little bit of it back, but just got past the original, barely past the original line of scrimmage, but it's going to be 4th and long for Gig Harbor. So, again, a nice job on defense by the Wolves.
Well, and the Tides are going to set up in punt formation here. I'm just guessing that every punt that each one of these teams boots away here is a precarious situation because of how slippery the ball is, even though the ball boys on both sides doing a good job of trying to keep the balls dry.
The Wolves send back Jared Moore. He's at his 45-yard line. He's going to just let it go right over his head, and he kicks it out of bounds on the far left side, right in front of the Gig Harbor sideline, and it does. It will go out of bounds at the South Kitsap 37-yard line, but the Wolves are going to have pretty good field position again, and I would imagine that this is the kind of thing that we're going to be seeing all evening long.
I have a feeling that this game is going to be a final score, if I had to guess, of about 6-0, is my guess. Maybe even in overtime. It's going to be a battle.
It could be. Somebody could easily get shut out here as both sides are, as the Wolves now break the huddle from the sideline, getting the first play call from head coach DJ Sigurdsson. They send 2 wide receivers to the far side of the field. That's Miller and Staten.
They've only got one defender on both receivers.
A quick handoff to DeAndre Jackson. D-Jack gets the call right up the gut, and he gets just across the 40-yard line, place it down at the 41, so a quick hit right there, and Jackson gets 4 on the play. It's going to be 2nd and 6 for the Wolves.
The Wolves doing a great job tonight on first down, gaining usually in the neighborhood of 3 to 4 yards per carry on first down, and giving themselves good opportunities on 2nd and 3rd down thereafter.
No team has thrown the ball yet here in this wet football game, as Tester's going to hand the ball to Tucker. He's got a big opening right up the middle, puts his head down. He's tripped up, but not until he crosses midfield. They're going to place the ball at the Gig Harbor 49-yard line, a big run of about 12 yards for Stephen Tucker.
Well, plus, you got to replace your divots here on the field tonight. I saw a big divot fly about 10 feet in the air. Stephen Tucker doing a nice job of turning his legs up the hole there. Gig Harbor taking a little off guard there. They know about Stephen Tucker, and they know his speed.
Credit that offensive line for the Wolves, finally cutting a break right there, creating a big opening as Tucker's still in. Josh Burlingame in at fullback. Tester under center. He's ready now, and he takes the snap. He's going to hand the ball up to Tucker one more time. He jumps over a man, sidesteps around his man. He tries to cut up. Oh, and he almost stays on his feet. He's just tripped up, and not until he gets almost another first down. Nice job by Stephen Tucker.
Stephen Tucker taking it to the Tides right now. 2 first down runs in a row as the chains will move again. Whoa, just short of the first down. We've got 2nd and a foot here. Stephen Tucker with a nice run, jumping and hopping and sidestepping there. Doing a great job of fooling the Gig Harbor Tides defense with a nice individual play there.
Number 34, Ryan Williams, comes in for the Wolves at tailback. Give Tucker a little breather, and the nice thing what Tucker's doing tonight, showing what an excellent running back he is that he is adapting himself to the weather conditions here tonight, and he's starting to get that feel for his foot position on the field.
Yeah, and the chains come out to measure this to see if it's a first down. It is a first down. One of the normal members of the chain gang crew tonight, Don Morgan, a longtime member since 1971, volunteer, involved in a car accident this week. He's doing okay. He's in the hospital recovering, and we wish Don the best of luck as the chain crew is doing a good job tonight.
It is a first down. The ball will be placed at the Gig Harbor 39-yard line in the I formation. Ryan Williams is in. They're going to hit the fullback straight up the middle. Actually, Tester faked the handoff, and he kept it himself as Burlingame went right up. Tester followed him right behind off of left guard. He gained a couple on the play. Maybe we'll call it 1. It's going to be 2nd and 9 for the Wolves, but the Wolves not trying to pull any punches here or do anything fancy. They're going to just play heads up, smash 'em up football on this nice field. Looks like an old Bears-Packers game back in the 50s.
Yeah, it's pretty messy out there, and this lots of rain, no snow yet. That's good. Stephen Tucker with a couple of huge gains, or a couple of plays ago, consecutive plays, setting the Wolves up for a nice field position here.
The first pass play, Tester's got a man wide open, and it's going to be intercepted. It's going to be intercepted at the 25-yard line by the Gig Harbor defender. He's going to be taken out of bounds at the just past midfield.
Here's what I think, Coach. I think that the uniforms are so muddy, you can't tell that was a Gig Harbor Tides player. I looked over there when the ball was in the air. I thought, oh, one of our guys is wide open. You couldn't tell. It was a Gig Harbor Tides defender.
Tester dropped back, a little 5-step drop, and the wide receiver made a slant cut inside, and Tester threw it outside, so it could have been a little miscommunication on the play as well. And the Gig Harbor Tide defensive back was right there to intercept it, and the first turnover of the game will give the Tides a first down in Wolf territory, as they will have the ball at the South Kitsap 46-yard line. But there's a lot of football left here with 5:07 remaining here in the first half of play. Gig Harbor going to try and get something done here on offense. They have the lone setback. Thompson under center, sends his man in motion. They're going to hand the ball off to the tailback, who has a little bit of running room, not a whole lot. That looks like Younger, as another pack of Wolves is right there to stop him. He's not going to get much on the play. We're going to probably call it a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6 for Gig Harbor.
What a big running play there, as guys are just getting hit and smacked around all over the place. Boy, the back for Gig Harbor stays up on his feet and just gets thwacked a couple of times, as he's just kind of turned into a punching dummy over there in the middle of the field. And South Kitsap looking defensively at a 2nd and 5, as the Tides are looking to try to get in the end zone for the first time.
That's Asgard and Younger, and they're going to fake the handoff, and Thompson keeps it to his left. He's got a couple of Wolves that are chasing after him. That's Jared Moore, who runs him out of bounds. Nice job by Thompson with the fake. He was able to get the first down. It's going to be a gain of almost 10 yards on the play, as Gig Harbor gets down to the South Kitsap 33-yard line. Thompson did a nice job, faked the ball, kept it, ran left side of the field, got run out of bounds right in front of his own bench, as a couple of big running plays here, and the Tides are in business deep in Wolf territory.
Looks like the Wolves stayed at home a little too well there, and wide open running space for the quarterback going up the left sideline.
So the Tides come out with Younger and Asgard in the backfield. They're going to send Asgard to the left. They're going to pitch the ball to Younger. He tries to turn around, catch it, and he loses his footing. His feet slip out underneath him, and it takes him down, but not until he gains about 3 yards on the play, gets down to the South Kitsap 30-yard line. It will be 2nd and 7 for Gig Harbor, and you can see the conditions again as Younger's feet slipped right out from underneath him.
Yeah, normally that cut goes up the sideline for 4 or 5 extra yards. Not tonight, as he stops himself short once he makes the cut. Tides finding it equally difficult to find their footing here on this field. Going to be a tough night. The 3:45 left in the half, as the Wolves are just trying to keep the Gig Harbor Tides off the scoreboard at this point.
Youngren is also adapting his footing to this field, as they send the fullback in motion to the far side. They're going to pitch the ball to Youngren once again, and he's not going anywhere. He's being stacked up by a pack of Wolves one more time. Maybe give him a 1-yard gain on the carry. Get down to the Wolves' 29-yard line. Nice job by South Kitsap's defense. They were ready for him that time.
Number 3, Jared Moore, in on a couple of plays here recently on defense, doing his part to keep the Tides out of the end zone and off the scoreboard. This is a big play here, DB, as the Tides are looking at a 3rd and 6. And if they don't make it, I guess they would go for it on 4th down. But both these 2 upcoming plays are big time for the Tides and the South Kitsap defense.
3rd and 6 for the Tides as Thompson fakes the handoff, keeps it. He just puts his head straight down and runs forward, gets down to the 25-yard line.
4th and 2, and I can't see any reason why they would punt the ball here.
I would imagine they are going to go for it on 4th down. It will be 4th and a long 2 yards from the South Kitsap 25-yard line, as the rain is now coming down again from our right to left here, as there's going to be a timeout called by Gig Harbor, and this looks like a monsoon coming in right now.
At least a mild tropical depression of some kind, as the American flag above the scoreboard is flying. And earlier it was cold, DB, but right now it's not very cold. It's kind of warm out here, as maybe we've got in a Pineapple Express or maybe even an El Nino coming in from the possible southwest area.
Well, the Tides are going to think about it here as they will have a 4th and a long 2 from the South Kitsap 25-yard line. Gig Harbor looking to get into the end zone or get some kind of points on the board here, as there is 2:36 remaining here in the first half as both teams come out from the timeout. And a big play here for the offense of the Tides and also for the defense of the Wolves.
Maybe not the play of the game, but the play of the half for sure.
That's right, as Thompson is now set underneath. They've got both running backs. That's Youngren in at tailback. They're going to send the man in motion to the far side of the field. They're going to hand the ball off to Youngren. Oh, he's not going anywhere. Nice tackle on defense.
Boy, it was like the South Kitsap Wolves were just sitting right on the back there, as that's a big 4th down stop for the South Kitsap Wolves with the rain blowing in the face of the Gig Harbor Tides. Big defensive play.
Boxworthy again on the tackle there. Nice job by Foxy, and the Wolves have a big stop. They're going to have the ball at their own 26-yard line as there's two and a half left here in the first half. The Wolves with a big defensive stop there. They will take over on downs, as the Wolves are going to try and get something done here before the half.
The Wolves don't want to play conservative, but they do want to play conservative here. They want to try to get some points on the board, but they sure as heck don't want to give up anything here. They'll keep it on the ground and try to run the clock out to end the half at a 0-0 tie.
Tester under center. A little fumble on the snap, and he's able to recover it. It's starting to get a little wet out there once again with this rain coming down, and Tester did a nice job of recovering it. In fact, they're going to actually lose about 1 on the play. It will be 2nd and 11 for the Wolves.
I'm a little surprised that the Gig Harbor Tides aren't calling a timeout here. They might after this for some clock management to give themselves some time, because if they get the ball back in this type of field position, they may have a chance to get in the end zone.
2 minutes to go here in the first half of play. Tester still under center. In the I formation, Stephen Tucker, they're going to hand the ball off to Tucker. He's got a little bit of room, sidesteps, able to gain his feet, comes back up the middle. Nice run, gets near a first down. The ball will be placed at the 34-yard line for the Wolves. Nice job by Tucker.
Tucker's getting some open looks tonight. On a normal field, he's gone for 50 or 60 there, but tonight, not quite the same deal. Only getting about 6 yards on the play. Stephen Tucker, hopefully no scouts are here tonight because they're not seeing the real deal. He is normally the man on dry turf.
There's 1.5 left here in the first half of play, and the South Kitsap Wolves will take a timeout as well. So nice job by the Wolves, but a key first down here, and I would imagine that if the Wolves don't get the first down, that the Tides are going to look to call a timeout, see if they can get that ball back and do something before half.
Absolutely, they're still looking at the Wolves end zone here, and even though they're on defense, they're going to look to get that ball back. It's 3rd and 2 for the Wolves. Boy, this is a real battle here tonight as this rain is stop and go. The wind dies, and then it picks up again. It's just off and on, kind of like a switch, as we've got rain blowing in our faces here tonight up in the booth even, which is, I can't remember the last time that happened. Some big-time weather conditions affecting this game. Normally you don't see a 0-0 game with the South Kitsap Wolves going into the second half.
Most of those uniforms that had white are now a muddy brown as the Wolves break the sideline huddle after the timeout. The Wolves are going to have a 3rd and a long 2 at their own 34-yard line. So a key play here by the Wolves. They come out in the power I formation. Matt Mays and Josh Burlingame as fullbacks. Stephen Tucker's going to get the fake, the handoff. Tester slips, but keeps his footing. He puts his head down, and he gets out to the 40-yard line. But they're going to spot the ball right back at the original line of scrimmage. It looked like he was about a yard short on the spot, but nonetheless, it's still going to be 4th down.
That's a gutsy play from Tester, putting his head down. They're going to go for it.
Tester faked the handoff to the tailback and ran to his left. He slipped, but was able to maintain his balance, put his left hand down.
And they're going for it on 4th down as... are they punting?
They're in a punting formation here.
They are going to punt.
Wells is back, and it's going to be a quick kick. They've got one man back, and it's going to go over the head. Nice job, nice decision by the Wolves there to go ahead and kick the ball away.
It was kind of a surprise for us to see a team punted on 4th down. We haven't seen much of that tonight. I think the Tides have punted it twice, and the Wolves have only punted it once. Normally, both teams going for it on 4th down, figuring, hey, they're not going anywhere with it. We're going to get it back in 4 downs anyway because it's hard for these offenses to get their footing and get their hands on the ball. We've only seen 2 passes tonight. One one from the Wolves knocked away by the Tides and another one intercepted by the Tides. So keep it on the ground and not getting much yardage consistently from either team as we have 39.5 seconds left in the first half as the Gig Harbor Tides will take over.
The Tides will have the ball at their own 29-yard line as the Wolves and the Tides look like that they're heading into a 0-0 tie here at halftime. As the Tides are going to spread the field out here. They have 4 wide receivers, trips to the near side of the field, trying to line something up here. They're just going to hand the ball off to the tailback. He doesn't get very far. Nice job by the Wolves. The Wolves do not bite on the fake there. Looked like the Tides were trying to spread it out. Maybe get the defense by the Wolves to go out as well, which they did, had the coverage, but
South Kitsap taking a timeout.
The Wolves did not bite, and they did a nice job on defense as South Kitsap is going to call a timeout here as well. And it is there was actually a gain of about 2 yards on the play. It's going to be 2nd and 8 for the Tides, but I can't imagine that Gig Harbor is going to try and do anything too fancy here and probably just try and run this play out, going to halftime with a 0-0 tie.
Yeah, the Gig Harbor Tides figure at this point, if they just keep the ball on the ground, force the Wolves to blow their timeouts and keep the ball out of the end zone, that they're going to be okay to go in with a 0-0 tie. Right now they're about 30 yards back to their end zone here. They don't want to. The big thing is, DB, is they don't want to give up any sort of a big play turnover here to really turn the tides, if you will, of this game.
Okay, Gig Harbor's coming out here with 28 seconds left here in the game. They're going to have the ball at their own 30-yard line. The Wolves don't care if they go 69 yards, but 70 yards gets a score. So the Tides are looking to try and get into the end zone here as they send a man in motion to the far side of the field. Thompson's going to fake his handoff. He's going to roll out to his right. He's not going to get very far, though, but he does run out of bounds.
Which is in favor of the South Kitsap Wolves. I think the official is saying he's inbounds.
No, he stopped it. The officials are stopping the clock as he ran out of bounds. Somewhat of a mistake by Thompson. They want to keep the clock running there with 22 seconds goes out of bounds. And it was going to be 3rd and 5 for the Tides.
What will happen here is if they don't get this down here, the Wolves will call another timeout and try to stop the clock again, and they'll get it back on after 4th down if indeed the Tides don't make it on 4th down, if they go for it.
The Tides could have gone in and just let the clock run out on that one, but they decided to go out of bounds and stop it as they are going to send 2 wide receivers to the far side of the field. 2 men in the backfield, pro set. Thompson under center. He's going to keep the ball, roll out to his left. He's just going to keep it, tuck it under. He's going to run, bounce out to the outside. He's got a little bit of running room, not until big number 52, Brian Kuznick, goes out there, the big defensive lineman ran all the way out to help make the stop on the play. And it's going to be 4th down as the clock is running down here. And both sides will just let the clock run down, and we're going to have a 0-0 tie here at halftime.
I think both sides contend at this point just to go into halftime at 0-0. Nobody giving up a big play turnover. That's good conservative football on both sides. It's kind of like a pitcher's duel in baseball where you see 2 pitchers going at it, not a lot of scoring, and this has just been a defensive struggle, and it's probably going to continue to be a defensive struggle all night.
So South Kitsap and Gig Harbor here at rain-soaked Joe Knowles Field on the campus of South Kitsap High School is going to head into the locker room with a 0-0 tie here at halftime as we are going to take a little break and we're going to turn over the halftime activities to our excellent crew of the South Kitsap High School television production team.
And go South Kitsap Marching Band. Awesome. We'll see you after half.
halftime show here at South Kitsap High School. I'm Mike Dunham, the video production instructor, and with me in the booth is Eric Lee, one of our students. We want to tell you a little bit about the band. It is under the direction of Mr. Gary Grams. And Eric, tell us about the drum majors here.
We got Sten Wilcox and junior drum major Chris Cooper. Tonight they will be performing song selections from the Beatles, which include the hit songs Magical Mystery Tour, Hard Day's Night, Eleanor Rigby, and Hey Jude.
This should be a great show. These guys were out here practicing very hard this afternoon. It was raining, it was muddy, and Mr. Grams was out here running them through their paces. So the SKHS Marching Band, enjoy the show, and we'll be back with you in just a few minutes.
Family Karen, Louie, Donnie, Trevor, and Hannah Bow. Jeremy Boyd. Gary Boyd, father. Rachel Brown. Parents Russ and Lynn Brown. Elizabeth Bryan. Parents Sally and Rick Bryan. Jerry Carlson. Born Terry tonight, Eagle Sherman, David Lefty Carlson, Alex Yell, Monique McGinnis, and Dean Carlson. Huey McGinnis. Supported by Monique, Pat, and David McGinnis, Andrew Cooper, Luann, and Donald Graham. Caleb Croft, and Sean and Linda Croft. Michael Dryden. Supported tonight by Michael Dryden, Lisa and Sarah McKinley, Roberta Dryden, and Alex Dryden. Brandon Harper, Mother Greta Harper. Katie Hereford, Mother Nancy Hereford. Adam Holtz, supported tonight by Mona Zoapi, Anna and Jim Holtz, Charlotte Zoapi, Mary Ellen and Thomas Rupert. Nick Rupert. Tonight supported by Mary Ellen and Thomas Rupert, Anna Lindahl, Emily Swain, and Joseph Hiley. Megan Lee, parents Chris and Sid Lee. Christina Martin, parents Kim and Carol Martin. Tommy Martinez, supported tonight by Tanya, Gladys, and Kristen Martinez, Bill Eberhardt, and Kia Catherine. Elsie Massey, supported by Brian Massey. Marielle Massey, by Saber Massey. Joel Parkinson, supported by Kara Mitchell and Michael Parkinson. Carl Ponton, Mr. Graham is escort tonight. Daniel Smith, Diane and Stacy Smith, parents. Orlando Smith, Darren and Tammy Smith, parents. Timothy Tremper, Kathy Tremper's mother. Brianne Woody, Aaron Oswald, mother. And senior drum major Sten Wilcox, parents and Kelly Wilcox. And I'd like to thank the seniors and parents for their hard work, dedication, and leadership in their design over the past 3 years. Your example on and off the field has led us in the right direction to ensure a successful future. We'll truly be missed and wish you the best of luck in whatever your future brings. Thank you, Mr. Graham and the SK Band.
So in case you're wondering what's been going on the last few minutes, and we apologize for a little bit of confusion here. This is senior night here at South Kitsap High School, so the senior football players honored their parents prior to tonight's game. We neglected to realize it was also senior night for the marching band. And so what you've been watching for the last few minutes has been the introduction of the parents of the senior marching band members, so it delayed the start of the program. And it looks like they're just about ready to start. The South Kitsap High School band looking smashing in their new uniforms that I believe they acquired just this year. And it looks like the rain is maybe letting up just a little bit. The rain has been coming and going all afternoon here. I know for our video crew, we've been keeping an eye on it, trying to figure out how to waterproof our equipment so that we don't electrocute or damage any equipment. But so far, so good. And I think as soon as the drums get into place, we'll be ready to go, and we'll catch you at the end of the show. That was the SKHS band under the direction of Mr. Gary Grams. 109 members strong. An excellent season from the SKHS band. A great show that we watched tonight. Before we send it back over to Darren and David, I want to take just a minute to tell you a little bit about Wolf Tracks, the award-winning magazine show produced here at South Kitsap High School. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm Mike Dunn, the video production instructor, and with me in the booth is Eric Lee. Eric is a senior video student who produced the most recent episode of Wolf Tracks that premiered, it was supposed to premiere last night, but the power outage knocked it out, so it premiered tonight. Eric, tell us a little bit about the show.
All right, this is the second show I produced. Last year I produced a show that spoofed the episode, the TV show The Office, and it did so well that this year, for the first show, we continued where we left off and made The Office 2. It's yet again a spoof of the TV show The Office.
And Eric, for people that aren't familiar with Wolf Tracks, that is a magazine show sort of based on the concept of evening magazine. Mm-hmm. So I think most people have seen that. But how do you figure out how to incorporate The Office, a sitcom, into Wolf Tracks? Well, we have a lot of talented actors in video production, and we each cast them as a different character from the TV show, and they all did very well, and you almost get the feeling you're actually watching The Office. And we have a little open from the show here for you, so let's take a look at that. Looks great, Eric. Well, a quick word here. If you'd like to see Wolf Tracks or any of the other programming that we do here at South Kitsap High School, go to the South Kitsap School District website. On the home page of the website, you'll see all of the SKTV programming listed. You can click a link, and our full calendar is there for the next few days. And coming up this winter, we will continue our sports coverage with boys basketball, girls basketball, wrestling, and we have other things coming up too.
Yeah, other than sports, we also have, we'll be covering the fall play Julius Caesar, which will be in November. I'm not sure what date exactly, but you'll want to check that out also.
And that will be playing back multiple times during the winter, plus various music events, etc. So that's all for the halftime show, and we turn it back over now as we get ready for the kickoff. We turn it back over to Darren and David. Thanks for listening.
And welcome back to the second half action here at Joe Knowles Field in Port Orchard as the South Kitsap Wolves and the Gig Harbor Tides resume play here. I'm D-Rod, Dave Rodriguez, in the booth with DB Darren Bowden on the play-by-play. Let's head back to action, DB.
The Tides will receive the kickoff after halftime here. The Wolves receive the first kickoff as Quincy Lyman is ready to kick the ball off for the Wolves from his own 40-yard line. And it's going to be a kicker right down the middle. It's going to bounce right down, goes right underneath the receiver for the Tides at the 20-yard line. But he picks it up, puts his head down, tries to get a few yards on the play. He's going to gain about 7. And we're going to have it down at the Gig Harbor 27-yard line. So it went underneath the fingers of the deep man for the Tides, was able to pick the ball up and still scooted forward for about 7 yards. Looked like he had a little bit of greenery, or in this case a little muddy water ahead of him. But the door was quickly shut by the Wolves.
Well, there's been a lot of hard hits tonight as the backs and receivers are trying to gain their footing. The defense has been allowed to just kind of tee off on some of these guys as the offensive guys, the ball carriers try to spin away. They just set themselves up for bigger hits from the defense. We're just seeing some big-time hits from both sides of the defense tonight.
Jeff Filmer and Nico Youngren are in at tailback. They're handing the ball up to Youngren. Oh, and he trips up, runs into the quarterback as Thompson kind of ran into him a little bit. Looked like he lost his footing as well. Youngren went down and got no gain on the play. Maybe got half a yard. It's going to be second and long for the Tides.
I noticed that the marching band for the South Kitsap Wolves at halftime played some Beatles, but if they'd known what the weather was going to be like, they would have done a Muddy Waters tribute, the famous blues legend.
Gig Harbor comes out. They split one wide receiver to the near side of the field. Two men in the backfield. Thompson's going to hand the ball off to the tailback. He's got a little bit of running room. That's number 41, Mike Armit, the 6-foot. Al Burton, Burton is the tailback carrier. It's hard to see some of these numbers.
Why are you having a hard time? The binoculars not working for you tonight, DB?
Normally I can read through mud, but I've forgotten my mud reading glasses, so we're doing the best that we can up here as the
clear as mud.
Clear as mud as the Tides get about a 1-yard gain. It's going to be 3rd and 9 for Gig Harbor, as they have a new man in the game because he's the only one with a white uniform on that's not muddy, and that's number 80 for the Tides, Alex Rare, as Thompson's going to roll out. He's got a man underneath, and he's being chased down the pocket, taken down by Matt Mays. Matt Mays chases him down in the backfield. Thompson was looking for his man in the flat, and Mays grabbed him by the back of the jersey and took him down. Nice tackle by Matt Mays.
Big time pursuit, big time tackle, big time sack from Matt Mays. Nice job. It was looking like it was going to be the first pass play of the night for the Gig Harbor Tides, but it was busted up by nice coverage and a nice sack from Matt Mays. South Kitsap forcing Gig Harbor to punt here. Big play, there's a fake.
Snap. Gig Harbor looks like they're going to come down with it.
Either way, the South Kitsap Wolves will have the ball and turnover on downs.
And there's the kind of turnover that we're looking for. The Wolves had an interception in the first half, but the Tides got the turnover. But on this one, it was a muffled punt, and the Wolves are going to recover. They would have had the ball over on downs anyway.
Big step for defense, so that's considered a fumble recovery, not just a turnover on downs. That's huge for the Wolves' confidence, and they've got the ball at the 20.5-yard line. Look in the end zone, right in the face, almost red zone.
South Kitsap with a big turnover right there, working in their favor. Gig Harbor with the muffled punt. The Wolves are going to take over on the Gig Harbor 20-yard line. Tester's under center.
That sack was huge.
They're going to hand the ball off to Stephen Tucker.
He's got running room. He's got running room. He's got running room. He's going in.
10. Touchdown, Stephen Tucker. South Kitsap, Stephen Tucker with the 20-yard touchdown run. And just like that off the turnover, the Wolves get into the end zone.
And that's the type of big play that the South Kitsap Wolves are looking for. The turnover, the fumble, the touchdown run from Stephen Tucker after the big Matt Mays sack. 6-0 South Kitsap with 9:48 to go in the third quarter. We're only 2 minutes in, and we've got some fireworks going on.
South Kitsap gets the ball off the turnover. Gig Harbor looking to kick the ball away, and there was a muffle on the punt snap, and South Kitsap recovered at the Gig Harbor 20-yard line, and South Kitsap was able to turn that into 6 points. The first running play off the turnover, Stephen Tucker with a 20-yard touchdown run. And Tucker having another excellent season, even under these poor weather conditions.
Wow, what a run! What a blocking scheme from the offensive line of South Kitsap there, getting an open lane for Stephen Tucker. It was just a matter of time before he got it open.
The snap is back, the kick is up, and it is good.
That's big. Those kicks are going to be hard tonight.
Quincy Lyman with the extra point, and with 9:48 remaining in the third quarter of play, South Kitsap gets a 20-yard touchdown run by Stephen Tucker. And D-Rod, this is the kind of thing that either side is looking for, and it just happens to go the way of South Kitsap.
Well, that's a huge first possession and turnover for the Gig Harbor Tides after a muffed kickoff that went between the hands of the Gig Harbor kickoff returner. On third down, Matt Mays throws down a big sack, and the Tides go for the punt, fumble it, and South Kitsap recovers at the 20-yard line. Goes in first play for a touchdown from Stephen Tucker. Wolves wasting no time going for the jugular here. That's a huge score in a game like this, as the weather is really dictating the pace and flow of this game. The wind and rain has stopped. South Kitsap able to score there. We'll see if Gig Harbor can get their respective footing underneath them here offensively in the second half and maybe put a score of their own in the end zone.
It's been raining off and on here tonight. The Joe Knowles Field is just between both 25-yard lines is just mud packed, as Lyman's going to kick the ball, and the man is down. It was fielded by the up back for the Tides, and when he fielded it, both knees were down on the field, but actually that's not a bad job there by the Gig Harbor up man, as Gig Harbor is going to have the ball at their own 28-yard line.
And right now, the Gig Harbor Tides have got to be real careful here. If they don't dig themselves out of this hole, they're going to be forced to punt again. That big mistake on the on the previous punt was a disaster for the Tides as the Wolves were able to capitalize, put it in the end zone. They have to be careful here and really try to push the ball forward instead of being as conservative as they've been.
Gig Harbor coming out of halftime, receiving the kick, looking to do some damage on offense. Offensive possessions are very important here, but have the turnover as the Tides are going to hand the ball straight up to the fullback. He's going to break away. He's got a little bit of running room. Nice job by the tailback for the Tides. That's number 28, Jeff Filmer, the 5'10", 178-pound junior for the Tides. And if he didn't get tripped up, he also had a lot of running room.
Well, nice tackling from the shoestring tackling from the South Kitsap Wolves to keep that from turning into a big play. It's going to be 2nd and 2 with a gain of 8 on first down for the Tides there. Boy, this is nothing short of a great football game so far as we've got the Tides looking to move the ball up the field from our right to left.
Thompson is going to hand the ball off to the running back one more time. He's got another big opening. That looks like number 44 on the carry. That was Ryan Snyder. Ryan Snyder gets a huge gain on the play and 2 big running plays just like that. The Tides are in business as they get near midfield.
Well, the Tides doing what they need to do, just churning those legs and getting the ball upfield. Still haven't thrown that elusive first pass yet. The Wolves definitely have to stay at home there. Don't want to give up any sort of big plays, getting caught napping as the Tides have first down here almost midfield.
Thompson takes the snap. He's going to hand the ball off to the tailback once again. That's number 4, Bo Berkey. And Berkey inches his way forward. Another solid gain on the play, 5 yards. There's going to be a stoppage of play, however.
It almost seems like this Gig Harbor offense is now playing with a certain sense of urgency as they go down 7-0. They realize that they've got to put it in high gear instead of just kind of lazing around in the mud. As
there's an illegal procedure penalty called, so instead of a 5-yard gain, it's going to be a 5-yard loss as they're going to scoot Gig Harbor back 5 yards. So a big penalty as now we see the penalty. It was thrown all the way back on the Gig Harbor side right in front of the coaches. And we didn't see that right at first. We didn't see it right away.
No, you know what? There's been 3 or 4 flags tonight, and I haven't seen any of them.
South Kitsap with a big break right there on defense. So it's going to be 1st and 15. It's going to be 1st and 15 for the Wolves, or for the Tides, as they have 2 men in the backfield. Thompson under center. He's going to send his man in motion. That's number 24. That's Donce as they're going to hand the ball off to the left side. He's taken down. Nobody going anywhere. That's Matt Mays and DeAndre Jackson to stop the running back on the counter.
What a huge defensive play from the Wolves as they can take advantage of a penalty off a big run from the Tides that has turned back because of the penalty. And boy, they just stopped the runner short. We've almost got third and double here for the Gig Harbor Tides. It's going to stay 2nd down.
Gig Harbor had a little momentum going there near midfield, but with the illegal procedure penalty call, they're deep in their own territory once again. The ball is going to be at their own 35-yard line.
Let's look to see the Gig Harbor Tides go for a pass play here in the next couple of plays.
Slot wide receiver. Thompson's going to hand the ball straight up to the middle. That's the tailback with the ball, and he's going to be taken down quickly. Nice defensive stop there. Good stop and tackle by number 3, Jared Moore.
We got some hard hitting going on tonight. He got up the middle pretty quick, but he was met pretty solidly by the South Kitsap linebacker there for a big gain. He gained about half the yardage back there. It's going to be 3rd and 9.
You're going to see some more hard hitting here tonight as both sides are going to try and jar that football loose as the Tides get back near the original line of scrimmage, and it's going to be 3rd and just under 10 yards to go. The ball is going to be at their own 43-yard line.
Big play here.
Thompson under center. They're going to hand the ball off. They stay with the ground game, and he just turns around. Doesn't get anywhere. That's Bo Berkey with the carry, and he just took the handoff and turned right around and led with his back.
And, with that footing issue going on tonight, that's a tough break for him. And the Gig Harbor Tides, a tough decision here. They're almost midfield, and they've got a punt, hoping to put the Wolves back in bad field position, and hopefully they'll catch a break on a mistake from the Wolves. But so far the Wolves have been pretty solid tonight, pretty consistent, not a lot of mishaps.
So another high snap on the punt, but it's an end over end. Jared Moore is back to receive for the Wolves. He's going to take a little bounce. He fields it at his own 15-yard line. He's got a little bit of running room. He tries to get outside, but he is taken down quickly. Nice defensive tackle by number 44, Ryan Snyder.
Well, it's tough a couple of times down there to tell who's who. Those muddied jerseys now dark for the Gig Harbor Tides. Tough to tell if that's maroon or mud brown sometimes down there on the left side of the field. A little camouflage game going on here as we've battled it out here in the jungle tonight at Joe Knowles Field in Port Orchard with 5:53 left in the third quarter. The South Kitsap Wolves clinging to a 7-0 lead as they gained the lead here in the beginning of the third quarter with a big break and touchdown.
Tester's going to hand the ball straight up the middle to Josh Burlingame, but gets nowhere. The Tides defense not allowing anything on that quick hit up the middle. The Wolves have been trying to do that on a couple occasions. Successful in a few times, but not on that play.
Well, like I've said before, the defense getting a real chance to tee off tonight on these other backs and ball carriers as, boy, the Gig Harbor Tides defense right there really seemed like they're sitting on that one and just pounds them back. We've got a 2nd and 11 situation here for the Wolves with their back to the end zone.
South Kitsap, 2nd and long. You're going to call it 2nd and 9. They hand the ball up to the tailback. That's Tucker, not getting anywhere again. Still looked like the offensive line having a little bit of difficulty getting their footing down on that to get the blocking responsibilities taken care of. Again, in fact, it's going to be a loss of 1 on the play. It's going to be 3rd and long. We'll call it 3rd and 10 for the Wolves.
Well, I don't think the Wolves are about to get fancy here. I don't think they're going to go for any sort of trick plays or any long bombs or big passes. I think they're going to, if they do pass, it might be something simple, maybe over the middle. But I don't think they're going to go away from the ground game. I think they're going to keep it on the ground to keep the clock moving. And if they have to, they'll punt. And the defense for both sides doing pretty well. Unfortunately for the Tides, the Wolves have the lead.
South Kitsap with the long. They're going to a delayed handoff, and they're going to have the pass in between, and it's intercepted. The pass is intercepted. Tester faked the handoff up the middle. He had his tied end wide open around the 25-yard line and threw the ball into a lot of traffic, and the pass was incomplete because it was intercepted. So there's another turnover, the 2nd interception by the Wolves here tonight.
And just as we saw at the beginning of this quarter, we saw a big turnover and touchdown from the Wolves. We'd see a big turnover for the Tides. They pick up the ball there from the Wolves, and we're going, we'll look to see if the Tides can create an instant replay of earlier in the third quarter when the Wolves were able to take advantage of a mistake from the Tides.
So Gig Harbor intercepts the pass from Chad Tester and will have the ball at the South Kitsap 30-yard line. Thompson hands the ball straight up the middle. That's Youngren. He drags a couple of Wolves with him near the first down marker, getting close to the 20-yard line. We're going to mark it just a little bit short. Looks like it's going to be about 2nd and 1 for Gig Harbor. And D-Rod, that's the kind of turnover that Gig Harbor is looking for.
That's this is a tough night to pass the ball. It's hard to see what's going on. You got rain, you got mud all over the place. Hard to see what's happening. I just don't know if we've seen 3 passes. I'm not sure if we're going to see any more, to tell you the truth.
McKay splits to the far side of the field. Two men in the backfield. It's been like that all night for the Tides. Thompson under center wants to hang on to the football right here. They're going to hand the ball off. That's to Bo Berkey, and Bo Berkey goes nowhere. Nice job by the Wolves defense staying home. It's going to be a no gain on the play, and it's going to be 3rd and short for the Wolves. In fact, they're going to lose about a yard on the play, and it's going to be 3rd and 2 for Gig Harbor.
Well, Gig Harbor here, another big play. I bet you if they don't make it here, that they're going to go for it on 4th down again. I don't see. I'm not really seeing. I'm not anticipating any sort of field goal unit or activity warming up here for the Tides, or it's going to be 4th down territory the whole way here for them, especially being down 7-0 in a big game like this.
Berkey and Youngren and Thompson's just going to keep the ball and inch his way forward. I don't know if he got it. It looks like he may be just a little bit short. We're going to have to wait and see where the officials spot the ball, and they are signaling 4th down. So Thompson with the keeper had both running backs in the backfield, and Gig Harbor chooses to go with the quarterback sneak right up the middle.
The tough thing for the Tides here is that they're knocking on the door, but if they don't get this on 4th down, the Wolves take the ball over. The clock is ticking, and that game is getting that more tense for the Tides. They're not. They're getting more and more restless and itchy as we go along here.
The ball is placed at the South Kitsap 20-yard line, and the Tides are going to go for it here. Big play for both sides as the Tides trail the Wolves 7-0 with just over 2 minutes to go. Thompson under center. He's going to keep it, and he's going to fumble the ball. He's going to be taken down in the backfield, and the Wolves have stopped the Tides.
That is a huge play from the South Kitsap defense. The snap is fumbled from the Gig Harbor Tides, and he is sacked for a loss on 4th down as the Wolves take over on the 30-yard line. Huge play.
It was a good idea to go for it. If they didn't get it, the Wolves are going to be deep in their backfield. As we're going to have a replay here, as they're going to show you. And Thompson, again, the handling of the ball, and he was unable to hang on to it. And Thompson fumbled the ball, and he was able to actually pick it up, but not till he's right there. Nice defense by the Wolves right there. Excellent tackle by number 13, Sean Korf, who was right there to flush him out. A fumble by Tester. He's able to pick it up and keep it as well and get about a yard forward. And D-Rod looks like it's going to be hard to hang on to that ball now.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. We've got just under 14 minutes left in the game. If the Wolves can keep the ball without having to punt here and just keep it going up the field, they're going to be able to take about 10 minutes off this clock, score or no score. If they can do that, the Wolves will probably take the victory because it's been awful hard for either team to get in the end zone tonight. In fact, it's only happened once. The Tides, the pressure's on them. The Wolves can afford to take as much time off the clock as they want, and really the Tide is in the Wolves' favor at this time.
Ball control is of the utmost importance as the Wolves are going to spread it out just a little bit. Leon Ladeau is now split to the far side. They're going to hand the ball off to Tess, and there's a loose ball on the play, and Gig Harbor has recovered. They tried to hand the ball off. Tester, they fumbled. Gig Harbor recovers, and after their turnover, they get the ball right back.
It's tough because even though it's wet out there, it's not really that cold. It doesn't really feel that cold to me. My hands, we got the window open here up in the booth. It's not that cold, so those backs have got to do their job of getting their hands on the ball. And so far tonight it's been a little bit difficult as we see the replay here.
You could see that Tester leans back to hand the ball off, and it just came right out, and Gig Harbor, it was recovered by number 71, Brendan Saltvick. And so the Tides are in business again. Thompson, they're going to look to hand the ball off to the fullback. He stays on his feet. Nice tackle there on defense by the Wolves. Excellent tackle there by number 75. That was Andrew Yapinche on the defensive stop there, but not until they gained about 4 yards on the play. It's going to be 2nd and 6 for the Tides.
Now, even if the Tides score here and make it 7-6, Quincy Lyman makes those extra points look easy even here in the mud. I'm not sure of the Gig Harbor Tides kicking game. That, if they do score, is going to be an important factor.
Gig Harbor with the 2nd 6 here deep in South Kitsap territory. Thompson under center. They're going to hit the quick fullback. Not going anywhere. Nice defensive tackle up front there by the Wolves. Maybe a gain of 1, maybe not a gain of 1. And
we've got a little extra activity there on the field as we get a flag. The first flag I've actually seen all night, because normally when the flags are laying in the mud, I can't tell what's going on. We've got a penalty after the play. Looks like maybe against the Wolves.
It's going to be a personal foul against Gig Harbor, and that could be a huge penalty. That's a 15-yarder.
Boy, you know what? The Tides have been disciplined and mentally tough all night, and to give up 15 yards on themselves in a position like this is going to be huge. The coach has got to be pulling his hat off, and his headphones are probably going to be tossed in the mud here because that's huge. 15 yards in this game is a big deal.
The ball is at the South Kitsap 23-yard line, but with the penalty, it should move them all the way back to the Gig Harbor 38-yard line.
What a break for the Wolves. Somebody from the Gig Harbor Tides lost their head and pulled a dum-dum and just picked up a 15-yard penalty. I'm sure they'll see that one in films tomorrow.
A little intensity out there. Sometimes the trash talking can take place, and there was a player for the Tides who got nailed with the 15-yarder, so it's going to be 2nd forever for Gig Harbor at their own. We're going to call it the 39-yard line. There's a fumble on the snap, and Thompson is able to recover it, and he wasn't able to get a clean snap away from center, and did a nice job, though, of staying on the ball.
And as I mentioned, the clock ticking down. We got 10 seconds left in the half as we're going to switch quarters here going into the final frame with the Wolves up 7-0 as the Gig Harbor Tides get the ball back, but it just seemed to kind of be unraveling a little bit here with the penalties and mistakes and fumbles and things of that nature. We said at the onset, DB, that the team who makes the fewest mistakes is probably going to win this game. So far, the Wolves are proven to be that team. They've got a 7-0 lead.
South Kitsap enjoying a 7-0 lead here as we're heading into the fourth quarter. Both teams looking to gain a victory here tonight. The winner will be the Bridge Division champs of the Narrows League. Both of them are 3-0 and will most likely, as we stated earlier, talking about some of the early playoff scenarios, the 2 number 1 seeds from both the Bay and the Bridge divisions of the Narrows League will play each other for the Narrows League championship and the number 2 spot. If not, the loser of this game tonight will go on and play for the 3rd and 4th position of the Narrows League championship. And one of the nice little mottos that the South Kitsap Wolves have here tonight, it's a new motto that they have been sharing with each other all season long, and the team motto is 28.3 and serious. And many people are going around wondering what in the world that motto was, and it is exactly 28.3 miles to the Tacoma Dome for the 2007 state championship game, and that the Wolves are serious about it. With a couple of early season non-league losses, the Wolves have been doing an excellent job here in the Bridge Division play, staying undefeated, as both teams are now going to come out of the switching of the guards, as they say, and there's 12 minutes of football left here in the final play, in the final quarter of the game, as Gig Harbor has a 4th down.
And a punt.
They're going to kick the ball away. It's actually a nice little spiral. It should drop. The Wolves aren't even going to attempt to catch the ball.
Sploosh.
And it's going to go down at the 23-yard line where the Wolves will take over, and the Wolves are going to try now to hang on to that football.
The only thing I need to say about that play is sploosh. All right, splish, splat. I was taking a bath as the ball just kind of lands dead on its side at the 23-yard line, not bouncing anywhere. No give in that mud tonight. We've got 9 seconds gone here in the fourth quarter. The final frame is the wind is blowing pretty hard still, but no rain. So good opportunity for the Gig Harbor Tides to try to get the ball back here and put the ball in the end zone. They need at least one score here to contend with the Wolves here. The Wolves going from our right to left.
Tester's going to hand the ball up to Tucker. He's got a little bit of an opening. He sidesteps, puts his head down, barrels his way forward, gets near the 30-yard line. He'll be taken down at about the 28. Nice run by Stephen Tucker.
And maybe the fans for the Gig Harbor Tides clinching up a little bit here as the clock is running. The Wolves have a lead and the ball, looking pretty confident with the running game as the rain has stopped. Even though we've had several fumbles and a couple of interceptions here tonight, not really comfortable as we've got 11:20 left in the fourth quarter.
Sean Staten in at wide receiver, split to the near side of the field. South Kitsap also looking to try and run a little bit of clock off here. Burlingame is in at fullback. Tester takes the handoff. He's got a big hole on this side. Oh, and he goes down. Tucker had a big hole right there on the left-hand side. Nice job by the South Kitsap offense. But he does get the first down. The ball's going to be placed at the South Kitsap 33-yard line. They'll stop the clock momentarily until they make the chain gang move on down. But the clock will start up here, and time possession is going to be now important for both sides.
I'll tell you, those big holes tonight aren't quite as big as the defense is just sitting there waiting, and the ball carriers and backs are just kind of about 3/4 speed. It seems like difficult to make those cuts.
First down for the Wolves. They're going to hand the ball up to Tucker. He's got a hole. Sidesteps around him, and he's taken down from behind. Nice job by Stephen Tucker. Gets past midfield.
Huge.
Gets into Gig Harbor territory. Actually, he's near midfield.
That's
They're going to
huge.
put him down at the South Kitsap 47-yard line. A big run by Tucker.
What a run by Tucker to be able to do that in this mud, to be able to hurdle like that. That is a lot of weightlifting going on in the offseason and in the summertime when these guys are in the weight room working hard, and not just Tucker, but this entire Wolves football team. Credit the South Kitsap coaches for a quality program.
Well, we talked earlier about how a couple of these running backs are doing a nice job of getting used to their foot position here. Tucker is one of them. As the Wolves have a first down near midfield, call it their own 47-yard line. Tester under center in the I formation. They're going to hand the ball up to Tucker one more time. He's got a little bit of an opening. There goes Tucker. He's taken down underneath, but there is a penalty flag down right at the line of scrimmage, and that is usually in the area of an illegal procedure call against the offense.
I think they were offsides and probably pushing back 5 yards.
And what they're calling, it's an illegal formation on the Wolves, so they had too many men on the line of scrimmage, or not enough men on the line of scrimmage, and they're going to scoot them back 5 yards, so it'll be 1st and 15 for the Wolves.
Is that the first penalty on the Wolves tonight?
I believe that it is.
We haven't had a lot. Even Gig Harbor's only had one unsportsmanlike, and I can't remember one other one, an illegal block on a kick return, so maybe only 3 total penalties on the night. So a well-played game on both sides of the ball, I think, even though we've had some trouble with keeping hands on the ball and not tripping around in this mud. I think both sides are obviously very well coached, well disciplined, and ready for this game tonight. Both sides seem very ready for this match as we go into 10 minutes left in the game. 7-0 South Kitsap.
2 factors in a game. One of the main factors that can determine the outcome of a game are penalties, and the other one are turnovers. And like you said, D-Rod, both sides, I believe, only have about 1 penalty. I think Gig Harbor has a couple of them.
I think Gig Harbor just called a timeout.
Looks like Gig Harbor did call a timeout here, this is a big play. This is going to be 1st and 15 for Gig Harbor, or for South Kitsap.
That's an untimely timeout here with 10:02 left in the fourth quarter. You want to try to hold on to those at the end of the game in a close one like this, and I can't think the coaches are very happy about being forced to call a timeout. Obviously, their defensive setup wasn't quite where they wanted it and need to tweak it here, and maybe the coaches saw something they didn't like on the offensive side of the ball for the Wolves.
So there's a timeout here as Gig Harbor is trying to stop the momentum of the Wolves. The Wolves lead Gig Harbor 7-0 with 10:02 remaining here in the game. South Kitsap is going to have the ball at their own 43-yard line. They need to get 10 yards for the first down as South Kitsap now breaking the huddle from the sideline there, getting a little talking to by Coach Sigurdson and Coach Fairweather as they send Devlin Miller to the far side of the field. So the Wolves still have first down. 15 yards to go. Matt May, that's DeAndre Jackson. D-Jack's in the game now at fullback. Coach Sigurdson for the Wolves asking for a little clarification on the illegal formation call.
Well, the game tonight going to be the foundation is going to be built upon stats from the defense, not necessarily the offense. I've got a couple numbers in my head rattling around that I'll share with you guys in a few minutes. You'll be surprised to hear.
Under 10 minutes to go now in the game. Tester under center. He's going to take the handoff, hand the ball. Tucker's got a big hole up the middle. There goes Tucker's got a man, and he looks like he's going to have the first down. He's close.
He's about a yard short, Coach.
He gets down to the Gig Harbor 45-yard line. He's going to be about 2 yards short, but not until he gets a huge gain on the play. Nice job by the offensive line by the Wolves, creating a huge hole for Tucker.
One thing we always have to remember about a quality running back or a quality tailback is if you don't have an offensive line, you're not going anywhere. And Stephen Tucker really riding the backs of those guys up front for him. Nice blocking once again from the SK offensive line. Boy, the Gig Harbor Tides clock is running down on him here.
South Kitsap coming out in that power I formation. Burlingame and Mays, the blockers up front. Foxworthy goes in motion to the far side, and it looks like they're going to stop the play here. And it looks like there's going to be a timeout called by South Kitsap, and it looked like the coaches didn't like something down there.
Well, the coaches understanding this is a big play. We've got, what do we have, 2nd and 2 here. So both coaching staffs, 2nd and 2.5 here, both coaching staffs seeing some important plays here with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Both teams will be left with 2 timeouts for the remainder of the game, barring overtime. And the South Kitsap Wolves looking at a nice position here. The Tides thinking maybe the Wolves do them a favor there by stopping the clock, but like you said, DB, obviously the Wolves coaches didn't like something they saw on the defensive side of the ball for Gig Harbor and need to call a timeout and regroup here real quick.
So South Kitsap will have the ball after the timeout at the Gig Harbor 45-yard line. Big play here, 2nd down. We're going to call it a long 2 as the Tides defense comes out. The Wolves really looking to get a first down here, but better yet, looking to try keep that clock running with 9:04 left here in the game. South Kitsap leads Gig Harbor 7-0 as they now break the huddle. Coming back out in the power I formation. Burlingame and Mays up front to do some of the blocking. Tester just waiting for the officials to set the ball here, wait for the timeout to be over. We had some technical difficulties with the score clock prior to the start of the game. We didn't have a score clock, but they got it fixed. As Stephen Tucker is the tailback still. Tester is now ready Foxworthy again goes in motion, gets set on the far side. They're going to hand the ball up to Tucker. He's got some blocking, almost tripped up, but I think he's close. He's going to be just short of the first down.
He's going to be about maybe a foot short of the first down. About a foot short. Is that going to bring up third or fourth?
Third down for the Wolves, and he was arm tackled by the linebacker for the Tides. Tucker had a little bit of room, but nice job by the defense of Gig Harbor to trip him up.
About third and the same here. Tucker didn't really get a lot of yards there. This is a pretty big play for the Wolves. If they don't make it, do they punt it or do they go for it?
They're going for it here on third down as they stay in that power I formation. One wide receiver split to the far side. Tester with the fumble on the snap, picks the ball up, and he's able to get forward, and he's going to get the first down. I can't believe it.
If you're Gig Harbor, you are just absolutely beside yourself. The fact that a quarterback fumbles the snap, he actually reaches down and is playing with it for a second, trying to get a handle on it. He gets a grip on it and just sprints forward for a couple of yards and gets the first down. Oh, that must make the Gig Harbor side sick.
Tucker under center, fumbled the snap, kept his footing, was able to pick the ball up. Everybody went right around him, and he was able to get forward for the first down. So a nice heads-up play by Chad Tester to get the first down.
Tough,
the Wolves
tough to get your hands on the ball here tonight.
The Wolves staying that. There's another fumble on the snap. They're having a hard time, and where they're placing that ball for both sides, though, that is just absolute mud. I don't see any grass down there whatsoever.
I see a couple blades in there, but they're mostly trampled to death by now.
Those four blades of grass.
Trampled and drowned. And so now the Wolves will have a 2nd and 11 here as they're, like I said, working from our right to left. The seconds continue to tick down. We've got 7:30 in the game as the Gig Harbor Tides are just watching this clock tick away on them. The South Kitsap Wolves really exhibiting a great job of ball control and time management here in the fourth quarter.
Tester almost fumbles it again, and they do, but he's able to get right there again. Oh, I can't believe it. Boy, were they lucky to get the ball back right there. Tester fumbled the ball, and if you look right down there, I cannot believe, look at that. That's an absolute mud bath.
I was going to say quagmire, but I already said that. I'm glad you thought of that because I couldn't think of any other words. Quagmire, mud bath, you know. Let's not split hairs. Hey, when's the last time you can remember 3 straight fumbles on 3 straight plays from the South Kitsap Wolves? I can't remember that ever happening. That's just telling you that this is really, not the best field conditions. The South Kitsap Wolves are a well-disciplined, well-coached team. That never happens.
It's going to be 3rd and long for the Wolves as they stay in the power I formation, but 6.5 left to go here in the game. Tester still fumbles the snap, but he's able to get right back on it, and 4 straight fumbles off center snap. But luckily for the Wolves, they don't turn the ball over, so it's going to be 4th down, and I would imagine that the Wolves are going to try and kick the ball away on this one.
Well, Coach Segerson exhibiting to the players over there about how you take a snap, and he just seems a little bit unhappy about that. The clock is running. However, that's not how you want to keep the clock running. You don't want to necessarily fumble. Was that 4 straight snaps or 3 straight? 4 straight snaps. That's tough break for the Wolves.
So South Kitsap will be forced to punt the ball away here. David Wells standing at his own 45-yard line. A good clean snap and a nice kick. It's going away from the defender. And the Gig Harbor Tide receiver is going to just run away from it. The ball is going to be down at the Gig Harbor 18-yard line. So the Wolves didn't get a whole lot there on offense as they fumbled 4 straight times, but they didn't turn the ball over. And Gig Harbor is going to have a very long way to go to try and get on the board with only 5.5 remaining in the game.
I'm just going to be honest here, Coach DB, not looking good for Gig Harbor. Not trying to put a hex on them or anything. They are looking down a long road to the end zone here, and they're just it's going to be a tough round for them.
So Gig Harbor comes out here. Thompson under center. They got 1 wide receiver, but they're going to have to try and run the ball. He's not getting anywhere. They hand the ball off to the up back, and he gains a couple on the play. It's going to be 2nd and long for Gig Harbor.
Still a long way to go for greener pastures for Gig Harbor as they're successfully running the clock down on themselves. They are actually going to have to consider going for a couple of passes here to avoid using up the remaining 2 timeouts that they have.
Pretty hard to get a grip on that football as Gig Harbor has a 2nd and 9, to get the first down. They need to get all the way to the 28-yard line Two backs in the backfield. They're going to fake. They're going to hand the ball off to the left-hand side. He's not getting anywhere. Nice job by the Wolves defense there, especially by Brian Kuznick and Josh Burlingame.
I think, Coach, we are going to be looking for the first pass play of the game tonight. The Gig Harbor Tides cannot just sit and look at losing yards on every run play. The Wolves just stingy on defense here, pushing them back every time. The Tides are going to have to go to the air.
South Kitsap doing a nice job on defense here. We haven't seen too many passes here tonight.
3 from the Wolves and none from Gig Harbor.
None from Gig Harbor, and 2 of those passes from South Kitsap were interceptions as the Tides come out now in trips wide receivers to the near side of the field. Look for a pass play here as Thompson's going to hand the ball straight up to the up back. Barrels his way forward, but he is not going to get a first down. It's going to be 4th and long, and I would be surprised if Gig Harbor went for it right here.
They are going to have to punt, I think. They either pass or punt, but not, they just can't sit back and let this happen to them. They put putting themselves in a poor position here, giving the ball back to the Wolves, hoping for a mistake now. Kind of gambling, I think.
South Kitsap, nice job on defense here. The Tides are going to look to get a kick away in mud. It's a nice kick. The Wolves aren't even going to attempt to try, and it wedges right into, that looked like a 5-iron down a 450-yard fairway. It plugged right in the middle.
Splat.
That was a splat. That was more like a sploosh.
That was a splat down.
That was more like a sploot because it stuck right in the mud.
Sploot.
It was a sploot.
Wow. We have never seen a game like this. I've never seen a game like this. The Chad Tester's numbers for the night. You ready? 0 for 3, 2 interceptions. That's why I said this is a defensive stat night. There is no offense except for the running game of both sides of the ball, and that's it. There's no passing. You can't pass in this mud. You can't see what who your receivers are. Gig Harbor hasn't passed the ball once. It's nothing like I've ever seen.
Brian Dorsey is now in at quarterback for the Wolves. He's going to take his first series of downs, and it's going to be an offside by the South Kitsap Wolves. So Tester is getting a little break here on the sideline at quarterback, and Dorsey comes in and is going to have the next series of snaps. And but I'll tell you what, D-Rod,
Tester's not in the game because he can't see. His face is covered with mud. They're cleaning him up right now. That's why Dorsey's in.
And a better stat yet, that some people, there's different ways you could read it, and even though that Tester had 4 fumbled snaps, he recovered all 4 of them and didn't turn the ball over.
That's huge. That's huge.
And under these conditions, that's an excellent stat to have. So Dorsey is in there under center. You can tell by the clean uniform he's wearing. Everybody else got mud. Dorsey's going to hand the ball off to the tailback. There goes Tucker. Stutter steps, gets out to the left-hand side. Nice job by Tucker to hang on to the ball. He's going to get down near midfield. Call that the 47-yard line.
Whatever you do, stay in bounds, son. Does a good job of staying in bounds, keeping that clock going. Almost a first down. We're in trouble town for the Tides.
You could tell that Tucker did an excellent job. He could have gone for further yards deep on the left-hand side, which is near the South Kitsap bench.
Staying away from the sideline, keep that clock running.
But he stayed in bounds and tried to cut upfield, keep that clock running now as the Wolves come out in just a single-eye formation. Dorsey still in under center. He's going to give the handoff to Tucker. He's got a big opening, cuts back up the middle. There goes Tucker. He hangs onto the ball. He's going to get a first down, and a penalty flag comes flying in.
That's going to be a late hit or a face mask.
A late hit or a face mask. Look like it's coming in here. We'll have to wait and see what the official's call is. The officials are gathering down near where Tucker went down, and they are calling a hold against South Kitsap. I sure didn't see a hold down there.
And not only that, it's a late call. That happened after the tackle.
All night long, not one holding penalty, and now all of a sudden we see one. So that instead of a first down, and the Wolves are going to have a 2nd and long.
Just as the carriage is rounding the corner and the clock is about to strike midnight on Cinderella here for the Wolves, or for Gig Harbor, the Gig Harbor Tides find a little window here, and a big penalty against the Wolves. We'll see if the Wolves can hold on to this.
Well, the clock is running with only 2:40 left here in the game. It's going to be 2nd and 10 for the Wolves. Dorsey still in at center. He's looking over the defense. Dorsey waiting for the sideline call when to take the snap. They're going to hand the ball up to Tucker again. He's got another big opening. There goes Tucker, hangs onto the ball, runs through a big mud bath. It was hard to see if he actually got it because all I saw was a big splash. Looked like a truck running right through there at the mud bog races.
Down there in Prosser.
Darn right, down in Prosser.
Wow, I hope these guys get a free car wash after the game, not for their cars, but for themselves. That mud was spraying, splatting, and splooshing. That was another sploot. Wow, I've never seen a game like this. We've had 3 passes the whole game. 2 of them were picks. We've got, how many times have they gone for it on 4th down? 4 or 5 times. A couple of fumbled punts, a couple of fumbled punt snaps. We've had 4 consecutive fumbles on out of the center snap to the quarterback. This is just some amazing things, amazing stats we've seen here tonight.
So a timeout by the Tides, and they're going to come out of here. This is a huge play. This could be the ball game. It's going to be 3rd and 1 for the Wolves.
The Tides have 1 timeout left.
Gig Harbor with 1 timeout left. South Kitsap looking to get the first down here. This could be the ball game.
Fans rising to their feet as they know it's big time. It's not like Safeco Field where they put louder on the big screen. The fans know this is big time.
Dorsey under center. He takes the snap. He's going to hand the ball off to Tucker. He puts his head down. He's going to be close. I don't think he got it. We'll have to wait and see. They're going to stop the clock here. They're going to have to bring out the chains and measure this one.
He's about 7 or 8 centimeters short, Coach. It's really close. Really close.
They've already marked it as 4th down, so South Kitsap not able to get the first down, and Gig Harbor calls a timeout, their 3rd and final timeout.
What do you do here, Coach? I know what I would do, but what would you do?
You go for it. You go for it on 4th down. You get that first
too.
down. You put all of your faith into that offensive line. You just make the biggest block you can, get that first down. We run the rest of the 2 minutes and 8 seconds off the clock. We go in winners.
Nothing fancy. Nothing fancy. Just try to get those snaps off so we don't have a fumble so Gig Harbor can recover it. I'll tell you what, though, even if Gig Harbor does get a miraculous play and a touchdown, if that were to happen, I mentioned this earlier, I don't know a thing about their kicking game. Quincy Lyman makes it look easy, but in this mud, in this muck, in this rain, to put a kick through is pretty tough. I'm going to guess for any kicker.
So South Kitsap with the 7-0 lead with 2 minutes and 8 seconds left here. A timeout called by the Tides.
Big time.
As it is 4th and 1.
Friday Night Lights here in Port Orchard, Washington, folks.
In Mud Bowl 2007, South Kitsap needing to get the first down. Gig Harbor looking to stop him here. Dorsey still under center. This could be the ball game as Dorsey, and there's going to be an illegal procedure call against South Kitsap. Number 93, Matt Foxworthy, a little anxious there on that one.
I think the coaches just puked.
A huge penalty there by the Wolves. It's going to scoot them back another 5 yards, so it's going to be 4th and 6 for South Kitsap, and the Wolves are going to have to kick the ball away. But more importantly, Gig Harbor burned their last timeout on the play.
Which is huge, even though the Wolves are punting it away. Even though the Wolves are punting it away, that's still huge. The Gig Harbor Tides have no timeouts left. We've got 2:08 left in the game. The rain has stopped. The wind is still blowing into the Gig Harbor Tides as the Wolves will be forced to punt it away here on 4th and 6.
South Kitsap with the kick. It's a good snap to get the kick off, and it's going to be a nice little kick there. Gig Harbor will not try and field the ball.
I've never seen so little bounce on any kicks or punts in a game.
I wish I could get my golf ball to do that when I hit my wedge to the green.
That nice little backspin there where it just stops.
Just where it stops, right next to the pin.
If I could get my golf ball to stop where I hit it, I'd be a great golfer. If it wasn't for those darn trees either, I'd be even better.
With 2 minutes left here in the game, South Kitsap still leading Gig Harbor 7-0 as Gig Harbor will take over after the kick. They will have the ball at their own 21-yard line. They've got to go 79 yards for the score, and more importantly, they need to get the extra point as Gig Harbor is now spreading it out. We could see some throwing, and we do. Thompson rolls out to his left. He's got a man open, and it makes his first pass completion. The first pass by Gig Harbor tonight. The pass was complete. Nice reception there by the wide receiver. And Gig Harbor gets a gain of about, we're going to call it 7 yards on the play. It's going to be 2nd and 3, so Gig Harbor's first passing play successful.
Well, even though it's only one pass, I still think it's the fewest of any game I've ever seen. I was going for the 0, hoping we'd see a no pass play for the game. from a single team. The first time I've ever known of a team to go for 0 or 1 passes, and I think that the Tides are going to take my advice here and go into the air.
Gig Harbor spreading the field out once again, but this time they're going to hand the ball straight up the middle, but he's not getting anywhere. Nice job by the Wolves. Better yet, the clock continues to run. Gig Harbor going to try and get set up here in the hurry-up offense as they pile everybody off.
Maybe not taking my advice as the clock continues to tick. The Tides are running out of options here. They're going to have to go all in or go home here in a second.
Gig Harbor with about 1 yard on the game. It's going to be actually they're trying to get the markers set here. It's going to be very, very short. It's going to be 3rd and short. And we're looking to see why the officials, there we go, now the play gets going. They need about 1 yard for the first down. Spreading the offense, trips wide receiver. Thompson almost trips, rolls to his right. He's got a man and he's going to throw it. The pass is going to be incomplete. He had a man out in the flat near the sideline, but it was incomplete. And now it's going to be 4th and short. We're calling 4th and 1 for the Wolves, or 4th and 1 for the Tides, as they need to have this, or this will be the ball game.
Now the clock is ready to strike midnight on the Tides here. They have to get this. I imagine they're going to go for it straight up the middle just to go get the first down. Then after that, it's going to be pass plays. See if they can get the ball in the end zone.
South Kitsap, big play here on defense, looking to stop the Tides. The Tides need only 1 yard, and if they get it, it'll be a first down, and they'll stop the clock as Thompson looks for the quarterback sneak, and I don't know if he got it.
He might have. I'm not sure. I can't tell. It looks like they're going to spot it as a first down.
They're stopping it right here. I think he got his way forward enough for the first down. We'll have to wait and see where they place the ball. Some of the South Kitsap defenders are looking like they stopped him, but he didn't as Gig Harbor gets the first down.
We've got two signals. One from the line judge going one way and one from the field judge going the other. Can't tell.
The clock is running with 1:10 remaining here in the game. Gig Harbor has no timeouts. They're going to send 3 wide receivers to the near side of the field.
Airmail.
Thompson under center. He's going to drop back. He's going to look to his left. He's going to air it up. He's got a man open. The ball is caught, and he goes out of bounds. They're going to spot it at the South Kitsap 37-yard line. Nice pass completion.
Is Gig Harbor saving the best for last here, Coach? That is a nice big pass play up the left sideline, stopping the clock with 56.4 seconds to go. It'd be a heartbreaker to see the Wolves give it up here in the final minute of the game.
That was number 24, Tanner Davis, for the Tides on the reception. Nice throw by Thompson as he also gets out of bounds, and they stop the clock. So Gig Harbor is on the move. They're at the South Kitsap 37-yard line. Thompson under center, rolls out to his left again. He's got a man. He fires it. Oh, it's almost intercepted.
That was game. That was game. Boy, that young man would like to have that ball back. That was his interception, take a knee down to the zeros for a win. That's tough, and we'll see if that comes back to hurt the Wolves.
The pass is incomplete as the Wolves have a man down. Looks like number 43, Josh Burlingame. Thompson rolled out to his left, had a man open, but he underthrew him, and right there in the flat, it was near the 25-30-yard line, was Ryan Williams, and it hit him right in the hands and bounced off, but it was still a nice defensive play, even though he didn't get the interception.
I guarantee you that he didn't expect that ball to be thrown like a bullet right at him. You don't expect the ball to be thrown at you, much less thrown directly at you at high velocity, and Williams is not ready for that ball. Even though it hit him right in the numbers, they're just not expecting it. And whoa, what's that ball doing here in front of me? Tough to catch that. We hope Burlingame's okay here. The first injury we've seen of the night on the field.
He looks like he's sitting up under his own power there. May have just had the wind knocked out of him. Nice job as he gets up, and he's going to walk off under his own power. So there comes Josh Burlingame. Nice job, young man. As the Wolves come out, the pass was incomplete on that last play. From Thompson, almost an interception by number 34, Ryan Williams, for the Wolves.
We got 51.5 seconds left to go in the game. 7-0 South Kitsap. The Tides driving here, completing their first 2 pass plays of the game here in consecutive possessions or in consecutive downs, as they go left both times and get receptions from the receivers.
The Tides will have the ball at the South Kitsap 37-yard line. They need to get to the Wolves 27 for a first down, as they're now coming out in their running formation once again here. A couple of pass plays and complete. As Thompson's going to drop back, he looks to his left. He almost slips. He's being flushed out of the pocket, rolls to his right. He's got a man. He throws it up, and it's going to be incomplete as he's out of the pocket. And there's a penalty flag that comes down, and that's probably going to be intentional grounding.
Either intentional grounding or roughing the passer.
And it is. It's intentional grounding.
Lost it down.
Had nobody to throw to. He was rolling to his right after getting flushed out of the pocket.
There was nobody home.
Looked down the field. There was nobody but about 3 or 4 Wolves in the vicinity, and that's also going to be not just a penalty, but a loss of down as well.
That play bit the Wolves a few weeks ago here at home, and boy, that intentional grounding karma bug coming around to bite the opposing team this week, and the opposition happens to be, in this case, cross-town rivals. If you want to consider Port Orchard and Gig Harbor the same town, cross-town rivals Gig Harbor, as they're going to be looking at 3rd and double plus here, 3rd and about 25 with the game on the line, 42.9 seconds left.
Thompson under center. He's going to fumbles the ball, and he's able to fall down on it, but the ball is a little slippery. He's able to recover it. They're going to stop the play here. The Tides quickly get set up because as it changes right there, it should be 4th down.
Somebody lost a towel on the field. Quarterback, I guess.
It's going to be 4th down.
And the Wolves take, the Gig Harbor Tides had one more timeout left. Okay, so the Wolves took one of those timeouts.
South Kitsap had one of those timeouts in there, and so the Tides had one timeout remaining.
Unless it's the Chris Webber rule, where at the end of the 1993 national title game between Michigan and North Carolina, Chris Webber called the timeout they didn't have. North Carolina gets technical free throws, wins the game. I don't think they're going to award South Kitsap technical free throws simply because, well, they had a timeout left.
So that must mean that the Tides are going to get a technical foul and shoot some free throws, which might be very difficult to bounce the ball under these muddy conditions.
I don't think you can dribble. I don't think you can dribble the ball right now.
And
I just don't think you can do it.
I don't know if they'll be able to put a hoop up here quick enough. So
can you make a swoop?
The Tides are going to come out here on 4th down. The Wolves are going to be in a prevent defense.
And you can really hear the crowd out here. Everybody up on their feet. This is the play of the game.
It's going to be 4th down for Gig Harbor. This is it here. It's going to be 4th down and about 25 yards to go. They have the ball near their own 45-yard line. Thompson, he's just going to air it up. He's got a man down the middle. The ball's caught, but it is incomplete. And South Kitsap has stopped Gig Harbor, and that should be the ball game. Gig Harbor has no more timeouts.
Boy, the young man had the ball wide open. He running across the middle, perfect route, perfect throw, and a nice catch for a second there, and it hits him. He bobbles it, and he drops it out of his hands. It looked like it was complete for a second. He was running with it, but he just could not hang on to the ball.
There is a stoppage of play here on the field, and the officials, the pass was incomplete. They were trying to mark it back where they thought that he may have caught the ball and fumbled it. Even if he did, it would not have been for a first down. So the Wolves are going to come out, and the ball is going to be placed at the Gig Harbor 46-yard line, and they'll have a first down, but all South Kitsap has to do is take a knee, and they should win this ball game.
Well, with the way the snaps have been going tonight, nothing is guaranteed. South Kitsap has got to just take a knee here, and I think that they'll be able to run the clock out with one snap.
So South Kitsap comes out. They should, Dorsey should just take the center snap. They're going to try and cause the fumble. And there it is. There goes the ball. They let it go through, and then they recover it. It's going to be right down at midfield. Gig Harbor cannot stop the clock. They have no more timeouts as we approach 20 seconds left in the game.
And I think the Wolves will just be able to run it out from here.
And that should do it. South Kitsap with 15 seconds, and that's going to do it. South Kitsap is going to come away with a 7-0 win here over Gig Harbor.
That's a huge win for South Kitsap, and that's the Narrows League Bridge Division champion, South Kitsap Wolves, defeating Gig Harbor at home. South Kitsap victorious tonight.
South Kitsap with a 7-0 win over the Gig Harbor Tides, and South Kitsap will finish first in the Bridge Division of the Narrows League as they go 4-0 and run their record to an overall 6-2. Gig Harbor drops their overall record to 6-2 as well, and will drop to 3-1 in the Bridge Division. Next week, the South Kitsap Wolves will make the crossover play against most likely the #1 seed from the Bay Division in the Narrows League, and it looks like that will be the Olympia Bears. So next week, the South Kitsap Wolves unofficially will be taking on the Olympia Bears for the Narrows League Championship in football, and I believe that the entire Narrows League Football Championship will be played at Mount Tahoma High School, but you will want to look in your local newspapers and even watch on TV. SKTV should also have it as well. Check the News Tribune, the Seattle Times, the Kitsap Sun, and they should be able to inform everybody about approximately the place and times for the games.
A fine game played here tonight by both teams, both very well coached teams, great officiating crew. Thank you to all of the people involved in this game, from the people working the gates and the concessions to the marching band and the fans that made it all here tonight. This is David Rodriguez and Darren Bowden.
We would like to also have a couple of shout outs for some friends of ours watching. Your stepfather,
Don Morgan, recovering, member of the chain gang, recovering from a car accident. We wish him the best of luck, and we'd like to thank also the members of the SKTV staff here at South Kitsap High School for putting on this fine production.
and also at home watching tonight's football broadcast, one of our dearest, closest friends, Miss Judy Christensen, who is sitting at home wishing she could have been able to come here tonight and watch this game, a big-time South Kitsap football supporter, as the South Kitsap Wolves are celebrating at midfield.
What a huge game for the Wolves, and a huge victory on the home field for these South Kitsap Wolves. A giant win. Huge confidence boost going into the postseason.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The South Kitsap Wolves come away with a 7-0 win over the Gig Harbor Tides here at Joe Knowles Field on the campus of South Kitsap High School. We would like to thank the TV camera crew, as it's now starting to rain again here at South Kitsap. I can't believe it.
South Kitsap Wolves, the 2007 Narrows League Bridge Division football champions.
South Kitsap will go on to most likely take on the Olympia Bears next week for the Narrows League Championship at Mount Tahoma High School, but please check your local listings for date and times of that contest. I would like to thank Mike Downham and his production crew. D-Rod, thanks for joining us here in the booth.
Thanks for having me tonight, DB. It's been a pleasure once again.
And we will see you next week when the South Kitsap Wolves take on the Olympia Bears for the Narrows League Championship. So long, everybody.
See you then.